Hello everybody, Cosplay Lego here, and today I'll be showing you how to take a 3D print lightsaber, make a 2-part mold, and then cast a resin copy that looks exactly the same as the original. So, let's get cracking on. Okay, so in this video I will be using a 2-part mold. And basically the way that works is you need to take your prop or piece, or in this case my 3D printed lightsaber, put clay down the bottom to support it, then you pour a first half of silicone, then once that dries you flip it over, take the clay off, pour a second half of silicone, then once that's dried, take the 2 parts away from each other, then connect them again and pour in the resin. And once you separate the 2 parts of the mold, you should have a perfectly good resin copy of the original lightsaber you had. So, let's do it. So to start off, I got a 3D model of Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber from episode 3 off the internet and downloaded it, and then I got it 3D printed at Officeworks because they do 3D printing. So now I've got these 2 halves because I couldn't do it all in the same one. So now what I'm going to do is I've got tweezers and a file. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get all the support material out of the inside from in there, and then I'll glue them together and then I'll get back to you. So now I've got a really fine grit of sandpaper and I'm just sanding over the whole thing. In a lot of the rough bits where the printing lines have been there, I'm just sanding over the whole thing with a really fine grit of sandpaper. So this is 360 grit. So I just glued the 2 halves together using just super glue called Loctite, and it's supposed to be really strong, so I'll just leave that and then I'll just let it dry for a bit and then I'll come back later. So now that I've glued the 2 halves together, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the foundation of my mould with this Clayette fine art sculpting clay. This is non-drying, which means it's going to be very good for the base of our mould. So, yeah, let's just start it and just follow what I'm doing, which is what you're going to do. So you just want to place your lightsaber where you want to have it, and then you'll take off bits of the clay and stick it in there. And if you're looking closely, there's all these lines and stuff in the mold, and you have to fill in all the holes. Like as you can see on the other side, I haven't really done that yet, and there's all these holes, and when you pour silicone over this, it'll seep into all the holes, all in there, and you want to make sure it doesn't do that, so you have to get it in all the way up to the lightsaber, like this. And you can even use tools for that and stuff. This is just a simple carving toolkit that I've had for a while. So yeah, doesn't need to be anything fancy, just use what you've got. So now I've finished doing the base in clay, I'm going to get this Lego Duplo, which I have loads of left over and a lot of them with drawings on them and stuff. So I'm just going to make a border on the outside of them with the Lego Duplo. So yeah, let's do that. Alright, so now I've finished the walls. As you can see, there's still little gaps in between the clay and the walls, so I'm just going to quickly fill those in with some more clay. Okay, so now I've filled in the edges with all the clay. I'm just going to do the indentations, and the indentations is so when we have the two molds and they're both flat, they'll be sliding away and the end casting won't look that good, so you have to do little indentations so they can stick together. So I'm just going to stick my hand in it and just make little holes everywhere, so when I mould it they'll be poking out. And once I finish this, it's getting late, so I'm going to go to bed and I'll come back to you in the morning. So now that I've finished all the holes and the indents, it's finally time to do the silicone pouring. So I have got a Barnes product because they are a local company that make silicone, and this is their Pinky Seal. It's quick setting, equal parts to mix ratio, easy to use, and fine detail mold making. So it's a great product. I've seen other YouTubers use it. So yeah, what I'm going to do is, let's just open it. So you've got this here that just opens, and here we go. Part A and Part B. This is Part A, and this is Part B. And they're both 500 grams, so that fits perfectly of the calculations that I've done in this area. So let's just mix them together. So we're going to start off with Part A. So you take it off, and I'm just going to pour it in. Right, so now we're going to do Part B, and as soon as these two parts mix, the cure time is going to start, so we have to work against the clock. So I'm trying. Okay, so now that I've finished mixing, it is time to start pouring. Okay, so here we go. Alrighty, so it has been about 18 hours since I poured the silicone, and it is completely dry. It's like rubber, it's solid. And the way silicone works is when it dries, it doesn't stick to anything apart from itself. So as you can see here, this is the box that I mixed it in. You can just very easily peel everything away, as silicone it won't stick to the box because the only thing it sticks to is itself. Alright, so now it's time to demold. Now that the silicone is dry, it's time to just take the Lego away very carefully. Okay, so now that I've taken it off, you can see that the clay makes a kind of cool layer between the clay and the silicone. So now what you want to do is you want to gently lift it up and flip it over. So now that it's flipped over, you just want to take all the clay off. You want to just take all the clay off, and make sure when you do this not to dislodge the lightsaber at all, just keep it in the same position. So yeah. So you want to make sure that all the clay is off, and you have to get it out of all the little grooves. And for example here, up here, you've got all this clay in here, and you want to just get it all out. So now I've just got this big block of rubber with the lightsaber inside it. I'm going to rebuild the walls and prep this for the second mold. So now I've built up the walls, I've just got to smear Vaseline all over it, and this is just so the two sides of silicone don't stick together, because silicone really sticks to itself. Okay, so now it's time to pour in some more pinky seal. So as I said before, it's part A, part B, and let's go. Now usually you'd have to measure this out, but because these packets of 1 kilogram is exactly perfect for 1/2, I don't really need to. Part B. Smells of rubber. Okay, so now I've finished pouring part B. I'm against the clock and I have to start mixing it. Okay, so now I've finished mixing, I better quickly pour it in. Okay. Okay, so 1 hour later, it is fully dry, and it's time to take the blocks off once more. And as you can see, what I did was with the towel, with the stick, I tapped the sides to make the air bubbles rise to the top. So yeah, and you always want the air bubbles to not be there. So now it's time to just start demolding. You can see it's beautifully layered. And I'm really proud that this one's way flatter than the previous one. So let's keep it going. Okay, so now we've taken the blocks off. It's still moist from the Vaseline here. So now we should just be able to peel it apart if we got the Vaseline. As you do this, you have to be very careful not to break the silicone. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Okay, so there it is. Isn't it beautiful? It's so beautiful. And here are the two parts. So now I can just take this lightsaber out. Oh, and it's been in there for a while, so. That's broken. Okay, so it turns out it's broken right here, but I don't really care about this one because I've got the mold. Jeez, okay. I've noticed that there's a few air bubbles in this bit, but apart from that, it is amazing. Look at all of that detail. I especially love the detail on the actual grip thing here, but my word, it is. Whew. And it fits together perfectly. Okay, so now I'm just going to cut a hole in the bottom of them, and that's where we're going to pour the resin in from. So just to the bottom, a flat surface, that's where we're going to be able to pour it in from. Okay, so I've cut these two pieces of wood, and these are for putting on either side of the silicone and then putting elastic bands around to keep it stable as I pour in the resin. And the reason I have the wood is just so, because if I just had the elastic bands, it would pinch in certain spots where the elastic bands are. So that's why I've just got the wood to evenly spread the pressure. So now I've got my elastic bands and I'm just going to elastic band them on. Okay, so now we have finished all the elastic bands. It's time to move on to the resin. So the resin I'm going to be using is Supercast Fast Set Rigid Polyurethane, and it is really good. It's mixed ratio 100 by 100, and yeah, it's 1 kilogram, just like the Pinky Seal, and yeah, it's supposed to be really good as well, but I've never used it before. So out of the 1 kilogram, I only need probably 500 grams. So I'm only going to use half of this set, which means with one set of Supercast 1 kilogram, I can make 2 lightsabers. So that's pretty good. So I'll just put this aside. Okay, so now it's time to start doing the pouring. I've got a funnel here just to make the pouring easier. So yeah, let's start. So as well as the similar to the Pinky Seal, this comes in part A and part B. So, and it says shake well, which means you probably have to give it a bit of a shake. Okay, so I just shook them really well. So now it's time to start pouring. Okay, so I have this kitchen scale, and that's for measuring the weight. So I'm only going to measure 250 with this one, and then once I pour in the second one, it should get up to 500 grams. So let's go. Now I'm gonna mix it. Okay, so I finished mixing, and I'm against the clock once again to try and pour this in. So here we go. Okay, so now I've let it rest for about an hour, and it's finally time to demold. I can't wait to see how this lightsaber's turned out. As you can see, I spilled a little bit at the top, so yeah. So yeah, let's just start taking the elastic bands off. Okay, so now it's time to take the wood off. Okay, so here we go. I'm so excited to see how this turned out. So let's open it up. Okay, look at that. It's a little messy, but you know, for a first try, I should be able to clean this up. Well, so quite obviously the elastic bands weren't tight enough, and that's why it all spilled everywhere. So next time I pour it, I have to find a way to keep it tighter. But I mean, it's not horrible. So thanks very much for watching this video. I hope you learned something new about how to copy or mold and cast something using a 2-part mold. I definitely learned a lot of new things in the making of this video. So yeah, I might do a part 2 of this video with me painting this piece, and then I may put it on my Etsy store. So yeah, if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can follow me at cosplay_lego. I will be posting a lot of things up there before I post them on YouTube. So, and I'll also leave a link in the description to all the products that I used in this video. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you all later.